What if I told you that the very things you might feel insecure about, your constant self-doubt, your messy desk, even that quiet habit of talking to yourself, aren't signs of weakness, but are actually subtle indicators of a powerful mind at work? We're often taught that intelligence looks like a perfect test score, a prestigious degree, or the ability to spit out facts on command. But real, deep, functional intelligence is far more complex and often hides in plain sight, disguised as everyday quirks. In this video, we'll uncover 7 surprising signs you are much smarter than you give yourself credit for. And the last sign is one that most people mistake for a major character flaw, but it's secretly a superpower of the highly intelligent. Stay tuned, because you might just discover a new appreciation for the beautifully complex way your own mind works. Number 1, you frequently doubt your own intelligence. This sounds completely backward, doesn't it? Yet it's a well-documented sign of high cognitive ability. It's known as the Dunning-Kruger effect. Psychologically, the less you know about a subject, the more you overestimate your competence. These individuals are shielded by a cognitive bias that prevents them from seeing their own vast blind spots. On the flip side, the more you genuinely know, the more you become painfully aware of the sheer vastness of what you don't know. It's like climbing a small hill and thinking you've conquered a mountain, versus reaching the first peak of a massive range and suddenly seeing how much further there is to go. This creates a sense of intellectual humility. You don't jump to conclusions because you can see the complexity, the nuance, and the multiple perspectives of almost any issue. Your mind is a landscape of what-ifs and, on the other hand, while others confidently spout simple, black and white answers, you're the one in the back thinking about the 10 reasons why that simple answer is probably incomplete or outright wrong. This isn't indecisiveness, it's a built-in, high-fidelity quality control system for your thoughts. Think about a team meeting where a new project is proposed. The overconfident person immediately says, "Easy, I know exactly how to do this." But you, the quiet doubter, are already mapping out potential pitfalls, resource constraints, and unforeseen consequences. Your silence isn't a lack of ideas, it's your brain running complex simulations. You have the cautious respect of someone who understands the game, not the false bravado of a novice. Number 2, you're insatiably curious. Do you find yourself falling down internet rabbit holes, starting with a simple question and ending up an amateur expert on 17th century naval history? Do you annoy your friends by constantly asking why, long after everyone else is satisfied with a surface-level explanation? If so, congratulations. Your curiosity is a roaring engine of intelligence. This is directly linked to a personality trait called openness to experience. Highly intelligent people don't just accept information, they crave it. This insatiable hunger for knowledge is deeply wired into your brain's reward system. Each new discovery, each connection you make, delivers a small hit of dopamine, the pleasure chemical. This makes learning less of a task and more of an addictive, joyful pursuit. Your mind isn't a bucket to be filled, but a fire to be lit. This trait is why smart people are often drawn to travel, diverse art, and new ideas that challenge their worldview. It starts with wondering how GPS works. An hour later, you're reading about Einstein's theory of relativity and the strange nature of spacetime. You didn't plan it, your mind just followed the breadcrumbs of what's next. Imagine you're watching a documentary about bees. The average person learns a fun fact and moves on. But your mind starts buzzing. How exactly do they communicate the location of flowers using the waggle dance? What's the physics behind their flight, which once seemed impossible? What are the mathematical principles of honeycomb construction that make it so efficient? Why are they so crucial to our ecosystem? This relentless questioning and desire to connect seemingly unrelated ideas is not a quirk. It's your intellect actively seeking to grow and build a more complex, accurate model of the world. Number 3, you have a messy environment. For years, we've been told a clean desk is a sign of a clean mind. But science suggests the opposite might be true for creative intelligence. A study from the University of Minnesota found that people in a messy environment came up with more creative and interesting ideas than their counterparts in a tidy space. Think of the desks of Albert Einstein, Mark Twain, or Steve Jobs, notoriously cluttered spaces that were also incubators for world-changing ideas. This isn't about living in squalor, it's about prioritizing mental clarity over physical order. The psychology is that a chaotic environment can disrupt conventional thinking. Order and tidiness encourage following rules and playing it safe. A bit of mess, however, signals a freedom from convention. Your brain has a finite amount of attention. For some minds, spending that energy on meticulously organizing a physical space is a low-return investment. They'd rather allocate those precious cognitive resources to solving a complex problem. An out-of-place book might spark a connection to an unrelated project. A jumble of notes might reveal a pattern you'd never see if they were neatly filed away. Think of a classic detective's office. The wall is covered in photos, notes, and strings connecting disparate clues. It looks like chaos to an outsider, but to the detective, it's a working system, a physical map of their thought process. Your messy desk might not be laziness, it could be the physical manifestation of a mind juggling multiple complex thoughts, a mind that values creative exploration over sterile organization. The priority is on the mental blueprint, not the physical one. Number 4, you talk to yourself. Admit it, you do it. Maybe it's under your breath while solving a problem, or a full-blown conversation when you're alone in the car. While it might seem strange, talking to yourself is a high-level form of cognitive processing. Some of the smartest people in history, like Albert Einstein, were known for muttering to themselves. It's a form of externalized thought, or what psychologists call private speech. The legendary psychologist Lev Vygotsky found that children who used private speech were more competent and focused. This skill doesn't disappear, it just becomes quieter as we mature. When you say something out loud, you engage different brain circuits than when you just think it. It forces you to clarify and structure your thoughts logically, transforming a vague feeling into a concrete plan. It's a powerful tool for self-regulation and problem-solving. By articulating a process, you slow down your thinking, catch errors before you make them, and reinforce the steps in your memory. It's like proofreading your own thought process in real time. Imagine you're assembling a piece of furniture. Reading the instructions is one thing. But saying, okay, step 1, connect panel A to panel B with the small screws, makes the process tangible and helps you focus. Or if you need to have a difficult conversation, saying aloud, first I'll outline my recent successes, then I'll state my request, allows you to hear the tone and build confidence. It's not madness, it's a self-coaching technique used by a brain that knows how to optimize itself. Number 5, you genuinely enjoy your own company. In our hypersocial world, a preference for solitude is often mistaken for loneliness or social anxiety. But for many intelligent people, being alone is like plugging into a charger. It's not about avoiding others, it's about connecting with themselves. Loneliness is a painful, involuntary state of being disconnected. Solitude is a voluntary, joyful state of being deeply connected with oneself. Highly intelligent people tend to have rich, complex inner worlds. Their minds are constantly active with ideas, reflections, and creative projects. Constant social interaction, especially small talk, can be draining because it pulls them away from this internal dialogue and requires a huge cognitive load. Solitude closes those external apps, freeing up processing power for deep thought. This is because deep, creative work often requires entering a flow state, a state of complete immersion in an activity. This is almost impossible to achieve with constant interruptions. Solitude isn't about escaping the world, it's about creating the perfect laboratory for your mind to do its best work. Think about your ideal Friday night. If canceling plans to stay in with a good book or a personal project fills you with a sense of profound relief and excitement, that's a powerful sign. It means you don't rely on external stimulation to feel engaged. You are your own source of intellectual engagement. You don't feel the fear of missing out. Instead, you feel the joy of missing out, knowing the quiet hours ahead are a precious opportunity for genuine progress on something that truly matters to you. Number 6. You have a dark or absurd sense of humor. If you're the person who finds the grim humor in a stressful situation or appreciates a joke that makes others slightly uncomfortable, your brain might be working on a higher level. A 2017 study found a strong correlation between a penchant for dark humor and higher levels of both verbal and nonverbal intelligence. Interestingly, it also found these individuals tend to be less aggressive and have a more positive mood, debunking the myth that dark humor comes from a dark personality. The psychology is fascinating. To get a dark joke, your brain performs several complex operations in milliseconds. It's like your brain is running multiple programs at once. One decodes the literal, often grim, content, another assesses the social context, a third evaluates the emotional impact, and a fourth finds the abstract, ironic connection that makes it funny. This mental juggling requires significant processing power and a high degree of emotional intelligence to pull off without actually being negative or cruel. It's a mental balancing act, a form of intellectual play where you take a frightening concept and strip it of its power by placing it in a humorous context. Imagine being stuck in a ridiculously long line. Someone complains, "This is taking forever." But you might quip, "I've seen glaciers move faster. We'll be fossilized by the time we get to the front." This ability to reframe a negative situation with absurd humor is not just a coping mechanism, it's a sign of a brain that can manipulate complex ideas, manage negative emotions, and find light in unexpected places. And finally, the sign that is so often seen as a weakness. Number 7. You're highly adaptable. Have you ever been told you're indecisive or that you change your mind too often? In a world that prizes stubborn conviction, being flexible can seem like a flaw. But in reality, adaptability is one of the highest forms of intelligence. Psychologists call it cognitive flexibility, the ability to pivot, unlearn, and relearn. This isn't just a sign, it's arguably the very definition of functional intelligence in our rapidly changing world. The most crucial part of adaptability is the willingness to unlearn. It's the ability to discard a long-held belief when it no longer serves you. This requires detaching your ego from your ideas. An intelligent person's identity isn't tied to being right, it's tied to getting it right. A rigid mind is like outdated software, it crashes when faced with a new operating system. An adaptable mind is like cloud-based software, constantly updating itself with new information to remain effective. When presented with new, compelling evidence, a smart person is willing and able to update their mental model of the world. They see change not as a threat, but as an opportunity to learn and grow. This isn't inconsistency, it's intelligent evolution. Think about someone laid off from a dying industry. The rigid person focuses on blame and loss, saying, "This isn't fair, this is all I know." The adaptable, intelligent person grieves, but then asks, "Okay, what's next? What skills do I have, and where are they needed now?" They see their skills not as a job title, but as a toolkit. They think, "My communication skills, my analytical thinking, where else can this toolkit be applied?" This ability to thrive in uncertainty, to see a setback as a new starting line, is the ultimate secret weapon. So, as we've seen, intelligence wears many disguises. It's not always the loudest voice or the highest grade. It's often found in the quiet doubter, the curious explorer, the creative messmaker, and the person unafraid to change their mind. It's a kind of mental freedom. These signs are not a definitive checklist for genius, but a reminder that your unique quirks, your mental habits, and the very things that make you you are often where your true brilliance lies. So embrace your inner critic, follow your curiosity down the rabbit hole, and don't worry so much about the mess on your desk. Remember, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice. And now, I have a question for you. What's one weird habit or trait you have that, after watching this, you now realize might actually be a sign of your intelligence? Share your story in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious to read about the hidden superpowers in this community.